Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good mornings. So today I would like to present my research paper. My paper title is talk about the review on heat stress issue among workers at the automotive service industry. So let me introduce my name. My name is Muhammad Nasir Abdul Rahman. So this is for the International Symposium in Integrated Engineering, Technology and Applied Science 2023. So this is a list of the author: Muhammad Nasir Abdul Rahman, me myself, and Afiq Aiman Adnan. Okay, so we begin on our introductions. Climate change is increasing the heat exposure, associated with the increasing world temperature, or better known as the global warming. So this change that occur to the weather have a negative impact on the daily activity of the human life. So increasing the heat exposure level are one of the most certain effect of the climate change, and additionally the heat exposure thus affecting housing and their indoor environment in a complex way. So the working in hot weather is a hazard that can lead to the serious illnesses. So the heat is a natural hazard, and much is known about the effect of the high temperature of the human body. So the effect of the extreme temperature can have significant impact on health and present a challenge for the public health and civil protection services. So therefore, the heat is the work environment factor is very closely related to the health of the worker, and if not taken seriously, strain on the body which lead to discomfort and eventually to the heat illnesses, even the death. So that's why, in case of the many industry, workers in mining, construction, manufacturing, and agriculture industry are more exposed to the health hazards. So next, this is our problem statement. So from our study, we found that the warmer and sunny outdoor condition quickly increase the temperature and humidity indoor, and examine the relationship between indoor temperature and heat-related health problem in elderly people, and found that there is strongly relationship between indoor and outdoor problem. So that's why workers who are exposed to the extreme heat or work in hot environment may be at the risk of the heat stress, and exposed to the heat can be the result in occupational illnesses and injuries. So this is include the worker, outdoor worker, and also the worker in hot environments. Therefore, the main objective of this research paper is to review the examine evidence of the occurrence of the risk exposure on the heat stress among workers, and investigate what are the potential interaction between the risk factor in the workplace and related to the automotive service industry. And this is our methodology when we develop the paper based on the review. So we have going through on the 5 steps. The first one, we have to identify what are the keywords, including the risk factor, the health disorder, radiation, environment temperature, heat stress were identified. So this term when then cross the search with the keyword. Step number 2, we are going to the several database. We are using a search keyword related to the heat stress and to find out the public research. And then step number 3, we classify the factor that contributing to the worker heat stress. What a variable consider in the assessment of the heat exposure. Then step number 4, we going to data extraction independently, and disagreement were discussed and resolved. Last but not least, we going to the step number 5. The research findings are presented in the summary tables, and the outcome of discussion and consequences are discussed for the discussion section. This is our result. So our result mainly has been divided by 3 factors. The first one is about the non-environmental factors. Number 2, we talk about the environmental factors. And last but not least, what are the methods for the measurement of heat stress. Based on the non-environmental factors, we divide by the personal factor and work factor. So from our review paper, we found that the personal paper of the age, there's a no risk for the 40 years old of the age bang a worker exposed to our heat stress. So mostly they are more than 40 years old, they are exposed to the risk. Meanwhile, this is a level evidence that we found that the gender male more than exposed to the rather than female. And regard to the weight, the obesity more than 25 BMI, where there is risk, and also not obsessed with the less than 25 BMI, there is no risk. We found that. Based on the health condition, we found that the chronic disease and non-chronic disease. So we found that the risk evident for the chronic disease, meanwhile there is not evident chronic disease for the no risk. Hydration, so we found that the hydration for the variable, there is still a risk. But in terms of the clothing, they are using a thick cloth, not suitable. So we have noted that the clothing worn which was result in the incremental heat storage in the body. Meanwhile, for the work factor, we divide by 2, the work rate and temperature. So we found that the work rate, take a break, okay, take a rest, there is no rest, and hot working place, there is a risk. Meanwhile, for the environment factor, we divide by 2, a temperature and relative humidity. And that is found that there is high risk for more than 38 degrees Celsius for the end temperature. Meanwhile, less than 38 temperature, we found that there is only moderate risk. And then for the relative humidity, we found that there's a little discomfort in between the range of the 20 to 29%, and some discomfort in 30% to 39%, and the rest. Now, last but not least, we found that from our review, the method for the measurement they are using to heat stress exposed among the worker were using WBGT meter. So WBGT meter is a stand for the wet bulb glove temperature. Is nowadays the most widely used in order to measurement of the heat index at the workplace. So as a conclusion, okay, we found that overheating in the summer is a common problem for the automotive workshops, that causing the worker to be exposed to the hot environment, which is can potential to the health risk. So based on the available information, workplace heat stress is well known as the occupational health hazards and can cause fatigue, decrease the productivity, and also the heat-related disease. So this causes by the variety of the factors, including individuals, the environmental factors, and management factors. And men are more likely to be risked due to their physical demanding jobs and work environment. And also obese individual and older worker and those with the chronic disease are not at the increase of the risk. So in order to prevent the heat stress, workers should be well hydrated and provide with regular break, access to the shaded or cool area, and sufficient with a drinking water. So the WBT is the one of the measure that I mentioned earlier, is a measurement of the heat stress being used more frequently to the index of the heat and stress at the workplace. So therefore, management should be provide education and health promotion related to the health related illnesses, and workers should be given regular training in order to manage and prevent the heat stress. Okay, this is research has been supported by the UTHM, University of Nusa Ons, through the tier grant number 1 grant research, okay, Q383. And this is some of the list of the reference that we review from our previously article research. So this one only to 10-11 and 12 until to 23. So until we get to the 48, this is a review paper based on our related research and related to our keyword research. So thank you all. That's all my presentation. See you again. Bye.